So as you probably know, AEW Revolution is coming up this Sunday, 2 days from the day of this recording. And as I have mentioned previously in the New Japan Strong Style Evolved video and in the Wrestle Dynasty review, I will be there in person along with my two friends Dylan and Eli. And there will be once again another vlog of our experience. So when that comes out, which should come within 2 days of that event occurring, be sure to have a look at that. But today I am putting out my predictions of how I believe this event will play out. Just result wise, I guess I can try and guess what order the matches are going to happen in, but you know, you never really know. AEW doesn't really announce that, so I can only really put out what I think will happen based on the past revolutions and stuff like that. But either way, here are my predictions for AEW Revolution in Los Angeles, California. I'll start with the only 0-hour match we have announced so far, with Orange Cassidy, Big Boom AJ, and Mark Briscoe with Big Justice against Johnny TV and MXM Collection. Did I expect Big Boom AJ to be booked on this card in some way? I did. I absolutely did. I knew it was coming. I knew that was coming in some way. I wasn't against it at all. I still am not. I love MXM Collection. They're great. Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy are amazing. Johnny TV from LA. Can't hate him really. I do feel like, of course, this is a face win with Orange Cassidy and Big Boom AJ and Mark Briscoe winning. Although I do know for a fact this is going to be one funny match. Starting off with the main card, we have Swerve Strickland versus Ricochet in a #1 contenders match for the AEW World Championship. These two have had one of the biggest stories going into this event. One of the most backed by the fans for sure. A lot of people did not believe in Ricochet's abilities on the microphone. Everybody believed in his abilities in the ring, however. And them finally turning Ricochet heel in AEW, actually it didn't take too long to pull that trigger. So him being heel gives him more room to speak. And since he's speaking more, getting more comfortable with it, he's getting better at it. And he's very good at it now. He's very good in the ring, and who would have known that making Ricochet the dorkiest heel, the corniest heel in wrestling probably out there would have been this good. It's so good. And Swerve Strickland is almost a perfect opponent for anybody who's good in the ring. I do believe this match is going to be fireworks. These two are going to show out for sure. I do believe Swerve Strickland comes out on top this time. Then again, I would like to see Ricochet in the world title scene just to see what he does against the champion. Just to see what he does against the champion. If he won it, I wouldn't be against it either. But I do just want to see what he would do against the world champion. I would want to see what Ricochet does in a world championship feud in AEW as a heel. But my mind is telling me Swerve wins. It's going to be a good match either way. I'm not against either winner here. Next up we have Kazuchika Okada versus Brody King for the AEW Continental Championship. I believe this match to have the least build on the card. Mainly because Okada is just now getting out of the Buddy Matthews feud. But I do also feel like the Buddy Matthews feud might also kind of have helped build for this match here against Brody King. Everybody has extreme anticipation for this match, including me. You don't often see Okada facing people bigger than him. So this is going to be a good match for Okada to showcase that in AEW. But I do feel, honestly, this could be a match that Brody King wins and then maybe an Eddie Kingston return. Or, as a matter of fact, or Okada wins and we get an Eddie Kingston return. Because they had a big feud before Eddie Kingston got taken out by Gabe Kidd. I don't know. This is a scary one. I would love to see Brody King with that gold though. But I will say an Okada win. Next up we have Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher in a steel cage. This match might technically have the longest build on the card due to the fact that Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher have been aligned for so long, and then against each other just recently in the last year or two. Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher have had multiple matches against each other. I believe they've had 5 matches against each other in the last 6 years, with 3 of them being in AEW. First one on Dynamite. I believe it was Ospreay's first Dynamite match signed to AEW, where he beat Kyle Fletcher, and then there was AEW Full Gear. And there was AEW Full Gear where Kyle Fletcher won with that top rope brainbuster. And then there was World's End Continental Classic semifinals where Ospreay won, but he was definitely at probably 30% coming into his match with Okada later in the night. But he then lost to Okada, but he did beat Kyle Fletcher. So in AEW, they're 2-1 Ospreay, but I believe for some reason they only count the pay-per-view one, so they would be 1-1 in that case. This would be a pay-per-view rubber match. I do believe Will Ospreay wins this because that would lead to progress in this Don Callis family feud in some way. I hope. I think. Because this Don Callis family thing's been going a long time. I don't necessarily hate it, but it's been going a very long time, and I would like to see some progress. Which Don Callis family's been on top of a lot of things for a lot of time. Next we have Mercedes Mone versus Stardom's Momo Watanabe for the TBS Championship. I have seen a lot of Momo Watanabe in Stardom. That is a hard-hitting lady. I would definitely put her in the top 3 hardest hitting Joshi in Stardom. Mercedes Mone and Momo Watanabe had a very good match at Capital Collision last year. They have the potential to be one of 2 of the best American women's matches this year if they go on all cylinders. I don't know if I would have Momo Watanabe win this, although it would be interesting to have Mercedes with the strong belt and then Momo with the AEW TBS belt. That would be an interesting dynamic. I do feel like they'd have to run it back though, and then they'd end up having Mercedes win then, which I feel like that would be defeating the point. Or have their rubber match be for both, and then Momo wins, and then Momo faces Athena. But anyways, I do believe Mercedes Mone wins this again. Mercedes won the first time at Capital Collision, so I don't know what they do this time. If they want to go for a rubber match, then they have Momo win this for the TBS title. I do believe that if Momo wins that belt, she's going to spray paint it black though, so we're going to have some fun with that. Let's see how the baseball bat's used in this match, but I do believe Mercedes Mone wins this. Wonder if Momo's bringing her friends. Next up, we have the Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. I feel like this might be one of the overlooked matches on the card. The story of the Outrunners getting to where they are in a World Tag Team Championship match on pay-per-view has been absolutely insane. They're top merch sellers. They started off here as jobbers. It's crazy. It's actually insane. The Hurt Syndicate got over just about as soon as they got here, so that was expected. But they're all really talented. Everybody in this match is really talented and very charismatic in their own ways. And although I don't know if they actually pull the trigger on the Outrunners right here, I do think that would be an interesting thing to do. I would like to see it. But it's the Hurt Syndicate. So they would have to pull one over on them just like they did the Murder Machines the other week. Which maybe it'll happen, because they're feuding with the Hurt Syndicate right now. But if we were going to see, now we're either going to see a Lance Archer and Brian Cage versus the Hurt Syndicate feud with or without the championships, and that's the thing here. I do feel that will be a feud for the titles, but I would like to see them pull the trigger on the Outrunners here. So I'm going to say the Outrunners, but I know it's going to probably be the Hurt Syndicate. But if it's the Outrunners, then I said so. Next up for the AEW Women's World Championship, the Hollywood ending between Timeless Toni Storm and Mariah May. Now, as you probably just saw, Mariah May attacked Toni Storm at the Queen of the Ring premiere, but it wasn't very nice, wasn't polite. I'll let her have her red carpet moment. But it's a good way to build for the feud outside of wrestling. A lot of non-wrestling media was probably there, so they would probably end up reporting on that. Something to see at Revolution. I believe they are 1-1, especially on pay-per-view, that's for sure. With their first match happening at All in London 2024, with Mariah famously winning the World Championship there. Then they had their match in Australia at Grand Slam, with Toni Storm coming out on top there. A lot of rubber matches happening tonight, this being one of them, and this seemingly being the end of this feud. I do feel that Toni Storm comes out on top on this, but the title, this is the name of it, and it's Falls Count Anywhere. No holds barred. So you don't know what Mariah is going to pull out, but this does seem like the type of feud that Toni Storm comes out on top. Mariah has made herself a star in America off of just this feud alone, and everything leading up to her getting the World Championship. This has been one of the most popular storylines in America. So I do feel that Toni Storm wins this match. Next we have Maxwell Jacob Friedman MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. Now this will only be the second time these two are facing each other ever, with the first time being in 2019. You would think these two would have interacted a little more, but they've been on separate points in the top of the card individually. Now, of course, they're feuding because MJF would not stop getting in Hangman's way in any way, shape, or form, whether Adam was trying to get in Max Caster or trying to get to the World Championship. MJF has always just been there. Now, these are both former AEW World Champions. Both ran that gauntlet and gotten to the top in their own ways. They lost them in two different ways as well, to two different people. I don't think names need to be named exactly, but MJF not believing Hangman Adam Page is a real bad guy like he says he is, or that he presents himself to be. And MJF feels that he is the real depiction of what that is, the real embodiment of what that is, and Hangman has a point to prove, and he's going to prove that point. Now, this is one of the matches where I do believe Hangman Adam Page wins it, but MJF has not came out on top in a while, except for against Jeff Jarrett, I think. But it's been a while since MJF's been on top, and that time might be coming soon. Although if they were going to fizzle out Adam Page being a heel, it would start here. They would start turning him face here, which would mean MJF probably wins this match. I think MJF might win this match here. Next up, we have Konosuke Takeshita versus Kenny Omega for the AEW International Championship. So these two have fought a couple of times over the years, I believe 3 times in singles competition and throughout different promotions. As Don Callis repeatedly mentions, yes, Konosuke Takeshita did pin Kenny Omega twice within 6 days. That being All In to All Out, I believe 2023. But one of them was a tag, one of them was a multi-man match. I'm just talking singles matches. In singles competition, Omega and Takeshita fought one time in AEW. It was All Out 2023. Very good match. This will only be their second singles match in AEW, and it's for a very prestige championship in AEW that people keep saying they want merged with the Continental title. Don't know why you wouldn't want Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada champions at the exact same time, but okay. This match has, on paper, potential for match of the year contender. It has potential for match of the night contender for sure, just like most of these matches do. But you never know what match is going to steal the show. So, due to the fact that Konosuke Takeshita won the last one, I do believe Kenny Omega wins this match. But I will say these two do have the potential to put on one of my favorite matches of all time. And to be seeing this in person might feel something. Who knows? And for the AEW World Championship, there is Jon Moxley versus Cope. Now, I know what Adam Copeland was going for when he said he wanted the marquee to say Mox versus Cope, which it says it on the poster at least, but it wouldn't make sense for them to change Mox's name for the marquee, or shorten his name for the marquee. It would have been cool though. But they put it on the poster at least. I'll give them that. Now, of course, the big point of this matchup is Moxley's holding the World Championship hostage, won't show it to the crowd. Cope feels like that's a disservice in some way. Another part of this story is these two have never faced off before. Ever. Not a single time. In singles competition, at least. Now, at this point, Cope and Jay White and Willow Nightingale have taken all of the pawns that have been keeping Jon Moxley's championship protected, with them getting Pac with the Concerto first, then taking out Claudio and Marina Shafir on the same night. Thanks Willow Nightingale, because they kept interrupting her backstage segments and attacking her. It's fitting that she would get involved. Big moment. And then seemingly sparing Wheeler Yuta, which upset Mox even more because Yuta showed respect to Cope for sparing him. But since they just about have all of Mox's troops out of the way, it's time for Cope to go straight for the head of the snake. Now, a lot of people were upset about the World's End result when that triple threat ended with Moxley winning by a sneak pin. Although it made complete sense, that was the whole thing they were saying. Unless you're all working together to take out the distractions, it's not going to work. He's going to get you from behind. He's going to do whatever it takes. So now that we finally had a group band together and actually put in a full force effort at this championship that you have to be trying to get. You have to be trying to... This championship that could not be the sole focus, because you have to get through all of his pawns to get... You just have to try and take down Jon Moxley. And you can't take down Jon Moxley if Claudio Castagnoli's swinging you around, or Pac is kicking you from behind, or Poison Rana and you from behind, or Marina Shafir is putting you in a sleeper. You just can't. So now that they have all of them out the way, now it's time to go for it. And they got everybody out the way for the time being, at least. So it's time to get him. Now, this would be a big moment for Cope to win, and then Christian Cage to cash in his Casino Gauntlet contract, and then beat Cope, and then Cope gets a rematch, possibly becoming a quick 2-time champion. Or Cope wins, Christian Cage cashes in, and then Killswitch returns and costs him the match. We don't know, but I do... Every result I could think of, Cope comes out on top, and then Christian comes out on top. Or doesn't. But I do believe Cope wins this match in Los Angeles. That would be big. I do think that's how they go. I think that's the way it goes. Anyways, those are my predictions for AEW Revolution 2025. Now, again, I will not be live this Sunday for AEW Revolution, as I will be there in person doing the vlog for y'all. It'll be big. It'll be fun. Hopefully we get to meet more talent like we did at Strong Style Evolved. That was insane. We met a bunch of talent. We met Jack Perry. We met Rocky Romero, Viva Van, TMDK, except for ZSJ. We just missed him. But TJP. Yeah, fun time. And it had some of the best matches of the year on that card. And we got like Matt Jackson's jacket. You know, that happened in the Strong Style Evolved vlog. You should watch that. That was great. It was a very fun day. A lot of very fun interactions with a lot of talent. Jada Stone, Bad Dude Tito, Matt Vandegrift, Shane Haste, Filthy Tom Lawler. Got that fist bump from Shota Umino. Well, I got that high five from Shota Umino, fist bump from Shingo Takagi. It was an all-around good day. It was a really good day. Hopefully we can have something like that at Revolution. And that is in 2 days as of this recording. It should be up by now. It should be up before the event happens. Yeah, it should be up. This will be up. Subscribe, turn on your notifications so you see that next video. Yeah, you're gonna want to see that. I guarantee it. I stand by it. And get off my video.